Alright, the purpose of this here video is to teach you folks how to take care of yourselves better. As you see, there's the chicken, and there's the pot of boiling water, and there's where the chicken will be hanging from when it's prepared. Now, I'll turn this here video back on after the chicken's killed. I don't think you're allowed to kill chickens on YouTube. Alright, well, let me show you something about these here chickens. You don't need to cut that throat very deep. It's not like our throat at all. Most of it's bone and muscle. All you basically do is you get the knife in there under the skin, push it in as far as it'll go, and then bring it outward. I'll show you. It's now this here chicken's dead, so I can't show you how to do it, but you're basically going in and pushing it in a bit and then outward. You don't have. You will see when you get in it. You're not cutting through the bone or anything. You just want to get it so you hit the artery in there and get this here critter to bleed out for you. Now, another thing I like to do aside from a good knife here, a good thin old steak knife here, I like to have a serrated knife. This is a rather large one. I use it as a lot of uses here, but. A serrated knife is real good for a couple things I'm going to show you here during the video. Now, to get this thing off, because I'm about to put it in the water, I'm just going to go through back here where basically the knees are on the chicken. Basically where the leg meets the upper thigh. And you just cut right through that. Now I'm going to have to move the camera and show you how to dip it in water. Alright, now all you need is some good boiling water. That's it. You're just dipping it. That's what it's what you do. You basically dunk it in. It don't take much at all. I wear a glove, of course, because you take it out, you got to touch the other end and it's hot. You can see I just got a couple seconds here. Okay, the water saturates it. You take it out and you put the other end in. If you had a big enough pot, but still, you can't dip the whole thing unless you had a string attached to it and your pot was big enough, because that water's darn hot. Okay? Now when I get this turned around and hung back up, you'll see how easy it is to pluck it. It don't take much at all. Okay, we got it hung back up by its neck. Now, you watch how these feathers come out. All you're basically doing is removing feathers at this point. If you got that water good and hot, and you dunk this just a couple seconds, these feathers here come right out. So they come out in clumps, and you can already see here along the wing, they come out real nice and clean. It just comes out. Now, I knew a few old ladies used to be able to take and just run their hands down and these feathers just be gone, but I'm not that good at it, so I just kind of take them out here and see how. I'll just show you here. Alright? And that's all you're doing. Now look how nice and clean that all basically come right out. You can just rub your hand down over these and see it now. Obviously there's a part here along the back. It's a little tougher for some reason. The water didn't penetrate there, but for the most part this is real easy. This just all comes out. Now you just go down and work at it and take it down until the whole thing's clean. And it really isn't hard at all. If I'm probably going to shut this here tape off and finish it up and then show you how to gut it, but in all reality, a chicken like this ain't an old, but this here's a Rhode Island red rooster I didn't eat. He was an extra. You could have one of these things done probably in 3 minutes if you wanted to. It's not hard at all once it's been plucked. See them feathers come right out. Look how nice and clean that bird is. There's nothing on it. All right, now I want to show you this here bird, how clean it is, all right? And a couple of things I'll point out after I bring the camera back out to a further angle. We got something here called the craw, and that's just that bump under the skin. I'll show you that as we're gutting it. And this here, the back end where it gets gutted, I'm going to show you something we do there to keep this as clean as possible. But you see, it ain't hard at all to get your chicken nice and clean. If that water's hot enough, you may have a couple little feathers left on it, maybe some little hairs, but you can just burn them off. People light newspaper on fire, roll up a newspaper, light it on fire, hold it under there, and you just burn them hairs off. All right, let me get this here camera situated again. And all right. Oh. There you go. That might work. Okay. That's for another thing I always like having is a rag, because when you're, especially with the feathers, you get them all over your hands. You need to be able to clean your hands while you're doing this. So I always want a good rag on hand. Now, start at this back end, because these feathers here, there's like cartilage. You cut the tail off, okay? Now you don't go all the way through, because you got the poop hole back there. You don't want to cut through that, because there's a clean way you could do this. So you see, I just cut that. There's the tail feathers. I cut right through all that. Now, I come up with my knife and I dig in there and I get around the poop hole and I cut across. So I'll show you here what it looks like when it's all done. Okay. Let me show you something here. Once you get that, when you cut through all that, you can reach in now and you cut through all the skin around the hole there, okay? And that way you're not touching the poop or anything at all. That's what you want to avoid if you can. And you just rip all those guts. They'll all come out in one nice neat pile. You don't have to really touch nothing in there. Now, that's I found the best way to do it, and it's all done kind of in one shot. All right. Now, you say I like to keep blood off your hands because you're touching the chicken, and it just kind of keeps the whole thing as clean as possible. Now, you reach up in there with your hand. It's a little hard for me. I got large hands, but you reach up there with your hands and you finish pulling anything out that you got inside. They're just little guts and all. And some people really like to eat that stuff. They like the gizzards and hearts and all. Now I don't much go for it. Now there's another thing in here called the craw. Now I may have, sometimes you can pull it out from the bottom. I tried to do that and it didn't work, so I go in here like this. And you're basically just cutting right under the skin. You're not going deep at all. And you get everything then. You get the throat, you get the craw, you get everything. And what the craw is, it's like a little sack in there that holds food. And you're probably better off cutting it out this way, because see, I actually damaged it a little bit, so I'm going to have to rinse this chicken off. But basically, you'll get a sack full of what they have stored food in there, and that's what the